When looking at the greatest directors of all time, none have done it better than Steven Spielberg. Spielberg has made the most popular and influential films in cinema history, but he also has a handful of terrific films that many people forget even existed. In this video, we will give you our list of the top 10 underrated Steven Spielberg films. Starting at number 10, we have The Adventures of Tintin. Based off of the British comic serial of the same name, The Adventures of Tintin is the closest adventure film Spielberg has done since the Indiana Jones franchise. Shot in 3D using animated motion capture, the film showcases the talents of Spielberg, Serkis, and Peter Jackson, who for all purposes intended the film to be a two-parter, the first as directed by Spielberg and the second by Jackson. The film was a critical failure at the box office and never garnered any interest from the general movie-going audience. But nevertheless, it's a fun, quirky adventure mystery and well worth the price of admission. Coming in at number 9, we have War of the Worlds. Based off the H.G. Wells novel of the same name, War of the Worlds was a story that Spielberg fell in love with as a kid. It also was one of the stories that got him making his own science fiction movies. The movie received mixed to critical acclaim during its opening run, and it seems that moviegoers just could not get on board, mainly because of lead star Tom Cruise's bizarre public life that was in the spotlight that year. But the movie's suspense, its visuals, and its overall adventurous feel makes War of the Worlds a top 10 contender. Number 8. Empire of the Sun. A forgotten war film, Empire of the Sun came just before Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, so it gets lost among Spielberg's greatest hits. Also shot from the memory of Spielberg's childhood and his passion for World War II films, Empire of the Sun is a great picture with a standout performance from Christian Bale, who made his first mainstream debut. Empire of the Sun is a great film that a lot of movie fans need to check out, especially if you're a Steven Spielberg fan. Coming in at number 7, we have Munich. Munich is another of Spielberg's war epics that have appeared to be lost. Taking place just after the tragedy of Munich's Olympic Games in 1972, a group of Israeli men are on a black box mission to assassinate those responsible for the murders of the Olympic athletes. The tension is real, and the scale of this film is powerful, and Eric Bana, Ciarán Hinds, and a pre-Bond Daniel Craig give this film its Spielberg levity. Number 6. AI, Artificial Intelligence. In many ways more Kubrick than Spielberg, AI was director Stanley Kubrick's last attempt at filmmaking before he died. Not getting past production, Spielberg decided to direct the film to pay his respects to the late filmmaker. The film oozes with special effects and tells a very futuristic version of the children's fairy tale Pinocchio with robots and cityscapes, blue fairies, and aliens. It's a gorgeous film to look at, and the heartfelt, sappy ending is signature Spielberg. It's not his best work, but it is without a doubt an underrated one. Coming in at number 5, we have the BFG. A recent Spielberg fantasy tale, the BFG is an homage to children's films of the 1980s and 90s. This sweep you off your feet kind of film is a very innocent and amusing adaptation of the Roald Dahl book that it's based on. The BFG was a major box office bomb, and kids didn't quite connect with it. However, the movie is engrossing and heartfelt, with a good message and a kindly, gentle giant from the hands of the master himself. Number 4. War Horse. Another Spielberg war film, this time taking place during World War I. This film tells the story of Fritz, a farm boy who enlists in the war after his horse is sold to the cavalry. The film showcases pristine acting, amazing war spectacle, and a John Ford pastiche that is commemorated by Spielberg. It is one of his most underrated films and isn't one you should soon forget. Number 3. Catch Me If You Can. One of Spielberg's most forgotten and underrated films, Catch Me If You Can gives us a perfect acting duo with Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio, an Oscar-worthy performance from Christopher Walken, and a breakout role for Amy Adams. Catch Me If You Can is pure fun and entertainment, and underneath that Spielberg rug is one of his best and underrated films to date. Catch Me If You Can is a fantastic film for all audiences to enjoy. Coming in at number 2, we have Minority Report. A lot of people forget that Spielberg directed Minority Report. The film stars Tom Cruise and I believe to be one of his best films. The movie is a crime thriller drama set in the future where police officers can stop crimes before they happen using these beings called precogs. Minority Report is a modern action thriller in the vein of Blade Runner that asks some big philosophical questions. The special effects are top-notch, and the pure spectacle of the film comes from its effects, the actors, and the story. Max von Sydow is a huge standout in the movie, and Tom Cruise gives us his most memorable film role since Top Gun. Minority Report is one hell of a film, and one of Spielberg's best that many people forget. And finally, our number 1 pick for underrated Spielberg films is
You can fly, you can fight, and you can
Hook. Hook was a film that was trashed by the critics at the time of its release in 1991. The critics said it was forgettable and bland, but when I was a kid, this film was one of my all-time favorites. Hook, a very misunderstood film, tells the Peter Pan story in a way that we have never seen before. Peter, now all grown up, returns to Neverland to find his kidnapped children. Peter must find the Pan in him and Crow before facing off against his arch-nemesis, Captain Hook. Hook is full of action-adventure spectacle, with terrific set pieces and swordplay, fantasy, and comedy. Robin Williams is terrific as the adult Peter Pan, and offers a lot of gags and laughs while also doing the dramatic. Dustin Hoffman is the other standout, playing the nefarious Hook and one of his most fun and kooky performances to date. Julia Roberts also delivers as Tinkerbell, and the film packs that Spielberg punch of entertaining movie-going fare that we don't see a lot of today. This 90s swashbuckler goes back to the Errol Flynn adventures of the 1940s and is a hilarious ride of childhood mixed with adulthood. Hook is a fantastic Spielberg film, and every time I watch it, I feel that nostalgia of being a kid again. Hook is bangerang and takes the number 1 slot on this list. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with our list? Which films would you have on your list? Drop a comment and let us know. For more mischief, mayhem, and movies, keep up with us at filmschoolhooligans.com.